Pelta-class Frigate is one of the most underrated ships in the Republic Navy, and today we're going to take a look at it. I'm Joey from Radio Free Coruscant, and this is the Pelta-class. Design. The Kuat Drive Yard's Pelta-class Frigate was a medium-sized combat and transport ship used for a wide variety of roles. It had a long, rectangular hull with a conical hammerhead section like that of the CR-90 Corvette at the front, and a cluster of several small engines and one large one at the rear. These engines were protected by a pair of large armored shrouds, which could be opened like wings to reveal several additional thrusters for a speed boost if necessary. Also at the rear of the ship was a conning tower topped with what appears to be the cockpit section and salon pod from a consular cruiser. This is somewhat unusual, as the consular was built by CEC, not Kuat, but perhaps there was some amount of collaboration between the two companies on this vessel. In real life, I imagine that this was done so that Lucasfilm could reuse the cockpit interior asset from that ship for the Pelta. The Pelta was capable of landing on a planet's surface and had a long boarding ramp on the underside and several very tall and gangly landing gear that retracted into its lower side slopes. It also had several escape pods on the underside, which were used to deliver relief aid without having to land on at least one occasion. The interior of the Pelta could differ very significantly depending on what it was being used for. Peltas could be outfitted as command ships, freighters, combat vessels, communications vessels, and most famously, medical ships, though many other configurations, or variants of these configurations, have been seen as well. Specifications. The Pelta class measured 282 meters long by about 93 wide with its wings closed, or 193 wide with them open, and 77 meters tall. It had a top speed of 800 kilometers per hour and a Class II hyperdrive. The armaments of the Pelta varied depending on its type. Many Peltas were unarmed, or armed only with point defense laser cannons, but some versions of it were retrofitted with 2 light turbolaser batteries and 3 tractor beam projectors. The ship had a crew of 900 and could carry 200 passengers, 275 tons of cargo, and 5 months of consumables. Its price was 7.25 million credits. History. The history of the Pelta class dates all the way back to at least 232 BBY, when a medical frigate bearing a strong resemblance to it was in use by the Republic. The Pelta itself was in use sometime before 33 BBY, when the Trade Federation used them to hunt pirates. One was stolen by pirates, and later encountered by Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. But the Trade Federation were not the only users of Pelta-class frigates at this time, as one captained by Jedi Kelleran Beck was used as a Jedi training facility at some point before the Clone Wars. And speaking of the Clone Wars, that was when the ship really hit its stride. Peltas of the Republic Navy were present for dozens of battles throughout the conflict, including the battles of Christophsis, Malastare Narrows, Ryloth, Kaleida Shoals, and more. It is not known if the Trade Federation fielded any of their anti-pirate Peltas during the Clone Wars, but it's certainly possible. After the Clone Wars, the Republic's Peltas were inherited by the Imperial Navy, who rapidly retired all but the medical Peltas in favor of larger and more Tarkin Doctrine-compatible warships. This led to many Peltas falling into the hands of pirates and rebel groups. One of these, the Phoenix Cell, converted their Pelta into a starfighter carrier with a hangar on the underside for a squadron of A-Wings. This ship, Phoenix Home, served the Rebel Alliance for a short time before being destroyed by Darth Vader himself. Other Peltas served the Rebellion throughout the Civil War, and the class remained popular with the galaxy at large for decades thereafter. At least one was used by Silvo's pirates and could be seen at Port Borgo in 9 ABY, and several were present for the Battle of Exegol 25 years later. And that's everything there is to know about the Pelta-class frigate. Let me know what you think of this ship and what you'd like to see next. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. RFC, out.